They left Australia and married Islamic State fighters. After nearly 7 years in a Syrian detention camp, they wanted to come home. And tonight, 4 of the so-called ISIS brides did just that. 3 have just touched down in Melbourne with their 8 children. In Sydney, 1 woman and her 9-year-old son. But it's not exactly a welcome party. Neil Fergus is in the studio with me. Sam Kuchiara is at Melbourne Airport and Erin Ramsey in Sydney. Sam, they were greeted by federal police. Where are they now?
They certainly were, Ali. Good evening to you. Right now, the so-called ISIS brides and their children are behind this wall here at Terminal 2, the International Arrivals Hall here at Melbourne Airport. We understand they were greeted by federal officers the moment that Qatar Airways plane touched down just before 5:30 this afternoon. Now, this is the scene right here at the International's hall right now. It's quite full of people, unusually busy, I'm told, for a Thursday night. You can see lots of media crews, lots of journalists. There's also, we've seen some AFP officers roaming the hall up and down. There's also, if we zoom in over there, a large contingent of supporters, family and friends of the ISIS brides, the 3 women and those 8 children who've arrived here in Melbourne. They're all wearing black in those black suits. Some of them have hoodies on. Many of them are covering their faces with masks, and we understand they're making some sort of plan to shield these women from the media should they be released. But we have been told by police sources that at least some of them are expected to be charged tonight with terrorism-related offences. Now, I've also spoken with a couple of passengers who were on board that Qatar Airways flight from Doha here to Melbourne. Many of those passengers had no idea that these women were on their flight. They said the mood was eerie. I spoke to another lady who said she actually saw all of the children quite loud in the back of the plane.
Did they have kids?
Yeah, they've got 8 children.
And they were all yelling and yapping on for about...
Where were they sitting?
Towards the end.
Did you see any police or them coming off the...
Yes, I saw a lot of police going down to the flight.
OK, thanks for that, Sam. We're going to go now to Erin, who's at Sydney. And Erin, Janai Safa, she was taken straight into police custody along with her son.
Ali, I can confirm that just moments ago, Janai and her 9-year-old son were taken into Mascot Police Station, just around the corner from Sydney Airport here, where they are currently being processed by Australian Federal Police. Now, just an hour and a half ago, they touched down here. We've been told by some of the passengers that are arriving just behind me that they had to wait until they were escorted off the plane by the AFP and out a back door here at the airport. Now, as I mentioned, they are at the police station right now where they are being processed. It's understood that her family will be taking her son in. As for those charges, we're not sure exactly what they will look like. It is, we do know that Janai did willingly travel to Syria in 2015 to take up life in Islamic State, which we know is a federal offence which can see 10 years in prison. We are hoping to get more details with an update from the AFP within the next hour or so.
OK, and we'll bring that. Thanks for that, Sam, and for that, Erin. Well, I've got Neil Fergus in the studio with me, an international security expert. So, Neil, they are back. Should they be?
They're Australian citizens. To the best of our knowledge, they don't have dual citizenship, so we've got international obligations. Apart from humanitarian considerations, we need to look after our citizens and take responsibility.
But what these people have seen and what they perhaps believe in, a lot of Australians are scared. I mean, is that fair for them to feel that way?
Ali, I think it's reasonable for a degree of apprehension in the community because we've been told by the AFP Commissioner a couple are likely to be charged. What they'll be charged with, we're not sure yet. It is possible, without preempting the merits of the case, that it goes to the heart of their having travelled to a prescribed terror zone. But did they do so willingly? That'll be a matter for the courts to look at. Or were they coerced? Or were they taken there by either a father or a husband with very little means to be able to say no? These are all matters that are going to unfold as we go forward.
So when we hear terrorism charges and crimes against humanity, well, what you're saying is they might not be quite as bad as what it sort of sounds.
Absolutely. We do know a number of Australian citizens were taken there by family members and they had no say in it.
So what happens now? They are here. What happens to those who aren't currently in police custody?
Well, they'll have the full assessment done on them, and that will require certainly the AFP to conduct interviews as and when it's appropriate, and the welfare system will kick in. We have a very advanced system in this country for dealing with what we call radicalised persons. I'm not saying it's perfect. It's not perfect anywhere, Ellie, but it has had some success because we've had other people come back from what was once regarded as the Islamic State Caliphate, and to a certain extent, as far as we can tell, they've assimilated into Australian society without particular problems.
Okay, and look, we're just hearing now, we've got some pictures from Mascot Police Station, which is where Janai Safa has been taken along with her son. So, I mean, that is going to be a long night. We know that police have effectively had their eye on these women for the best part of a decade.
Yeah.
And there we go, they were seeing her, the first shots of her arriving back in Australia. I mean, you've got to think she would have known coming back to Australia that she was likely to face these charges.
Yes.
But still did.
Absolutely, Ellie. They knew, and the first move that they made to come here was thwarted as they were on a bus going from the refugee camp to Damascus, a 500-kilometre journey, and they were turned around at that point. So they're absolutely well aware of federal police and national security interest in them.
So, I mean, how closely will they be monitored and for so long? Because I know one of the fears that I've heard is that, particularly with these kids, I mean, they were born into this mess, it wasn't their fault. But, I mean, if one day they're online late at night, what is the real threat of them being radicalised?
Well, it's a major problem, not just in Australia but internationally. The radicalisation of youth is going on at such an extraordinary extent. It was actually named by the German federal police recently as the major reason they've lifted their terror threat alert in Germany. We've got that issue here, but as I said, we've got some extraordinary de-radicalisation experts, and the program does work. Obviously, they will need to be monitored for a period of time and assisted for a period of time.
And then to think too, we've still got 21 women and children who are stranded in Syria that will probably at some stage make their way home, but that is a chat for another day. Thank you so much, Neil. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Yeah.